Um, the president's, I'm not sure what the end game is, but right now it's a mess right now on the global economy with the way he's doing the tariffs right now. And it's not helping. A lot of folks are losing their jobs. A lot of folks are actually, even with businesses, are losing money. Businesses, typically they did pretty well in America as long as you had, sold a good product and, you had a good audience, you could do well. It's not so much the case nowadays. Everybody's really being very careful about the money they spend because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. You may not have a job or you might find yourself in some kind of financial hardship. And so everybody's holding their money close to the chest, man. But the tariffs are definitely having an impact because when you start charging the everyday person more money for goods and services, several things are going to happen. One, they're going to stop buying those goods and services. Another thing they're going to do is look for cheaper goods and services. And you can see that by the dollar stores and the Dollar General stores. Those things are packed right now. People who would normally shop in, the more middle class stores, you see them in dollar stores now, man, because you see some of the same products in the dollar store. And people are just being smart about how they spend their money. But the tariffs are definitely having an impact on things. And so I don't know what the end game is, but the job market right now is suffering because, in one respect, the tariffs has something to do with it. Also, the global impact of economies. Before, the U.S. was an isolated country. All the countries were pretty much isolated, had their own economies. But now it's a global economy now. Everything is interconnected now. And so what's happening on the other side of the world has a definite impact on our economy. And the things that are going on the other side of war right now there's a lot of war and conflict, and there are a lot of constitutions being rewritten. Uh, Leadership styles are changing, and so the global impact of economies it has a direct impact on our job market here in the layoffs and things like that. Because the companies that you work for, they invest in global companies, they invest in the global market, and so they make money that way too. So that if they're not making money on a global scale and they're not making money locally, then guess what? You may be out of a job because they have to cut the fat. But global impact of economies definitely uh, has a huge impact on the job market and our layoffs here. And like I said, conflicts and wars. We got the thing in Russia, Ukraine still jumping off. We got Israel and Gaza, and the U.S. has a law in place where there's some companies that some states I know in the U.S. they outlaw countries that don't do business with Israel. Some countries don't want to do business with Israel, and so, for example, the state of Texas, if a company doesn't want to do business with Israel, then Texas doesn't do business with that company. And so, man, it's just a big mess. It's a big mess all the way around. I don't want to get too far into that, but at the end of the day, what I want to tell you is politics has a big play in job market and the layoffs. But again, right now it's a mess. Right now, people are suffering. They're already suffering and struggling. Um, Several things going to start taking place. Crime is going to start going up big time because people, when you ain't got a job and you got to feed a family, you got to resort to other means. Um, Side hustles are going to go up, which is a good thing. During 2020, we saw a lot of that. We saw a lot of people come up with side hustles because people couldn't deal with the no work thing, and then there was layoffs and cuts, and people lose money, and you had to decide on whether to go to work or have childcare for your kids. And so a lot of people coming up with side hustles, and a lot of people did real good. So that's going to be one of the impacts of all these layoffs and the job market. The impacts of the job market. People are going to start coming up with new and innovative ways to start making money. They're going to have to. That's where the hustle is going to start coming in. And I encourage everybody out there, man, to start looking at your side hustles, because it's all about the hustle. I had a good friend of mine I talked to recently. He said, E, man, it's all about the hustle nowadays because you don't know the money is so unpredictable right now. The economy is so unpredictable. The world is unpredictable. And so you can't it's not like the old, back in the day, you worked for a company for years. They took care of you and you had loyalty to that company. You could have been on that company for 40, 50 years and retired out and they give you a little plaque and you're happy. You're happy and they're happy. That's not the case nowadays. You are nothing to these companies nowadays. You are a number and you're not even a number. You're just, I don't know, man, something that's taking up space within their domain because right now it's so easy to lay people off and fire people. It's ridiculous. My hat's off to those folks who have been impacted by the job market and by layoffs. I hope that you get back on your feet, but my advice to you is just, first of all, take a breath and just get back at it. Stop filling out application, and again, don't be afraid to consider the side hustles because a lot of that was going on in 2020. Even with what I'm doing now, I'm YouTubing right now on YouTube, trying to get a podcast going and rolling. And so this could be a side hustle for you. If you've got something that people would really be interested in hearing you talk about. So with that, I'll let y'all go. My hats off to y'all, but stay tuned because things are going to get worse before they get better. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.